Okay, we are back. Let me go back to our um, let me go back to our Facebook group and get us going live in there again. Man, I'm going to have the internet company out. I don't know what's going on. I'm supposed to support all kinds of streaming and working very well lately. This week in particular. Okay. Streaming software. Okay. I think we're back. So apologies about, don't know exactly what's going on, but I will do my best to get the internet company out here this week so that we have to do this again. So, okay. So about reading nutrition labels that we left off. So reading nutrition labels, it's tricky because you get all these advertisements all over TV, all over the packaging, all over the stores, all over everywhere, right? You get all these advertisements saying, this is healthy, this has X amount of fiber, this has X amount of calories or whatever. And it's just this perpetual cycle of this is healthy for you, this isn't healthy for you. And it's like, what is the messaging, right? So when we think in terms of Health Accelerator, really learning and focusing on eating real whole foods, right? Foods that don't need a nutrition label necessarily, right? These are going to be the foods that need to make up the most of your plate, right? So when you're grocery shopping, you've heard stay on the perimeter. That's a very good, really good strategy, right? Don't go to the grocery store hungry. Make sure you have water when you're there and stay on the perimeter. Look at your fresh vegetables and your meats, right? These are the things that you're going to want to load up on. Now, you're going to have a few things that probably have a label. So just be mindful that anything on the label that ends in OSE is either a sugar or an artificial sugar. So just be, and lots of things advertised to be zero cost. Look at the ingredients. A lot of them still say wheat. A lot of them still flour. A lot of them still say starch in them. It's just that they don't put as much in it, so they don't have to declare it on the label. So just be very mindful of that. Okay, about basic training, right? Basic training, stay on the store, lots of vegetables, lots of lean protein, and that's going to set you up for success when we're eating those real whole foods. Now, if you're getting things that are packaged like tuna or anything like that, try to get it packed in water. Okay, that's going to be your safe bet. Okay, so now when you think in terms of getting back to, right, we have our formula 20 to 30 grams of protein. I'm going to say it again, 5+ grams of fiber, 15 grams of carbs, and 5 to 8 grams of fat. Okay, that's what's going to move you towards your goals. 20 net carbs or less per day. And when you're eating that, the calorie count doesn't matter as much if you focus on the other numbers. How do you read that? You look at the nutrition label, look at a serving size, or if you're using MyFitnessPal, let's say you're calculating real whole foods, look it up in MyFitnessPal, get a serving size and calculate it out, right? Measure it out until you get used to it. Like I know how much 3 to 4 ounces of chicken is, right? It's about the size of the palm of my hand. I know that because I've weighed my chicken out before. And so now I know, and I can just kind of eyeball it and I'm good to go. Okay. But until you get in the habit and that nature, spend a little bit of extra effort, right? There's a reason you're here. You're wanting to learn, you're wanting to do better, you're wanting to accelerate your health, right? If you didn't want to do any of that, you wouldn't be here. And so take that extra little 3 to 5 minutes, weigh out your food, look it up in MyFitnessPal so that it becomes second nature. Okay. I know what I can eat now. And so now I just have to quickly write it down, and it may take me 3 or 4 minutes to fill out my food log because I know what I'm eating and I plan my stuff ahead. I already have my lunch and dinner ready for tomorrow, right? It's already done. It's cooked, it's put away. All I have to do is pull it out of the refrigerator and heat it up. And I did that today. Didn't take me long. I just made a little bit of extra when I made dinner. Okay. So these are little strategies and little tips and tricks that you can use to really propel yourself forward and set yourself up for success, right? If I just waited until tomorrow to decide what am I going to eat for lunch and dinner, then I might be stuck somewhere and not have an idea and may end up making a poor choice. So when you talk about really planning for success, you've got to plan the night before. That's just back to basics. Okay. So plan what you're going to eat the night before. Plan it around your day. Look at what appointments you have. Look at where you have to be, when you have to be there. What times are you going to eat? And the more you do this, the easier it becomes. I already know I have a 7:30 meeting tomorrow. I have a noon meeting, and I have a 5 o'clock meeting. Okay. So I already know I have those things in place. So I'm going to work my meals around that and work my workouts around that. And it's super easy for me to do now. Took a little bit of extra effort on the front end, but then I created that habit and now we're good. And so now when I need that extra accountability, I say, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is what I need you to hold me accountable for. I need you to make sure that I'm doing X, Y, and Z. Okay. Again, the need for accountability never goes away. It might shift a little bit, right? You might need a little extra accountability in the beginning. And then you might need to shift and say, okay, I need some accountability on my water intake because that's been lacking a little bit lately. And I tell you, I'll be the first to tell you, my water intake has not been the best over the last couple of days. I traveled on Thursday, Friday, and then it's been cold. So I just naturally don't drink as much water when it's cold, right? I've still been getting about 90 ounces in, but not the gallon that I normally. And that's just kind of how it's been. So I just need to keep an eye on that. And how do I know that that's what I've been doing? Because I track it, right? I know because I track it. All right. So these are the things that when we get back to basics, these are the things that we need to really focus on. The formula, and then really working on the what we eat, what we think, and what we do. So we talked about tracking for food. How do we track as far as the what we think? You have your scripting journal. And if scripting is something that's new to you, get a journal and just start writing your affirmations, start writing your I am statements as if they've already happened. And it's very, very strange at first, but then you get used to it. And when you write it, it sinks into your subconscious a letter and a little bit easier. Okay. And so that's how you can track, because there are times I'll look back at my scripting book and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's been a week since I've scripted. What am I doing? Right. And so that's how we track. I always put the date on the top of it, and I start with gratitude, right? I start with that. And I also, in the food log, you can track, did you do your morning routine? Did you get your workout in? The what we eat, what we think, and what we do can all be tracked using your food log. Write it in the note section. Write the visualization in. Did you do your visualization? Did you get your full workout in? Check off the boxes on the checklist on the top, right? These are all ways that you can keep track of the what you eat, what you think, and what you do. It's all built into the food log. That's why that food log is such an incredible tool, because it not only tracks the what we're eating, but it also tracks the what you think and the what you do. So when you get back to basics, the first things first, fill out your food log completely in its entirety. Write down the workouts you did. Write down, yes, I did my scripting. Did I take my supplements? Did I get my water in? Did I get my full workout in? Right? So I would always check off on the checklist. And then since I do the powerlifting, I would check off, hey, I squatted today or I benched today. This is the weight that I did. So I could keep track of that. Right? So I knew what I had to do the following week with that same workout to increase it. So these are all ways that we can just get that little bit better every day. And then remember, getting back to basics and drilling it in, behavior that receives attention is behavior that's repeated. So you go back after you man, that's exactly what I wanted it to do. That's exactly how I wanted it to be. Because you give lots of attention to that, your subconscious says, okay, cool, this is what we want. So we're going to make sure we do this tomorrow. Behavior that receives attention is behavior that's repeated. Okay. All right. So that is our back to basics boot camp, for lack of a better term. I really wanted to get back to basics, go over the fundamentals, and remind you, better is better. We are looking for progress, right? It doesn't have to be perfect, just as long as it is a little bit better than it was the day before. And also remember, it is not always easy, but it is very simple. Okay. So when you study the basics and you get to know them, you start to think a different way. And your mindset starts to shift into the how can I meet these minimum requirements, right? How do I lock into the basics? Because that's how I'm going to reach my goals. And then you start to see the progress, and then momentum stacks, and you start to see that what we call behavior momentum. Again, behavior that receives attention is behavior that's repeated. You get that behavior momentum going, then you're like, man, I'm on a roll. Somebody's offering you ice cream. You say, hey, no, thank you. People start offering you all kinds of stuff. You're like, no, I'm good. I'm getting the goal. I'm reaching my goals. I'm making the progress I want to make. So no thanks, but I appreciate it. And you just start to glow, and that spark is there, right? And you feel better and you look better. And all of a sudden your confidence is increased. Your energy is increased, and you are just absolutely rocking it in all of the areas of your life, your financial, your career, your relationships, your health. All of these things start to fall into place because you were on feeding your body with for fueling your what it needs to have the energy it needs to really make the progress and really obtain that you're looking to obtain. All right. So I appreciate everyone's patience. I know the live, it's broken up a little, but I will work on getting the internet fixed this week. And hopefully we will not have this continue. Everyone's patience as we've made this transition onto the new platform so that we can reach a wider variety of our audiences, because some people just simply don't have social media, and that's okay, right? Everyone who is in the program is getting the information. So I appreciate each and every one of you for showing up day in and day out, week in and week out. You are all absolutely incredible. I can't wait to hear what it is that you are wanting to be held accountable for. If you are in a coaching program, please post in the comments. And if you are watching this live, you're tuned in, post in the comments. What are you wanting to be held accountable for this week so we can hold each other accountable? Catherine's was her food log, so I'm going to be checking in with her there. Mine is my water this week. I need to make sure I'm staying hydrated. Okay, so that's what I'm on fine tuning this week. All right. So I appreciate each and every one of you. We will be back next Sunday, 7 p.m., same time, same place, hopefully better internet connection. I appreciate everyone's patience. And I'm looking forward to seeing all the progress you continue to make as we into February, into the middle of the first quarter of 2025. People have already made so much progress. I'm so proud of each and every one of you for plugging in over and over. Y'all are all amazing. And I'm wishing you all the success for your accountability this week. And I will see you back here next week. And I'll see you in the group in the meantime. Have a great night, everybody. Bye.